How do you feel every time it rains outside? Have you ever felt that it's more than just rain? That there might be something more sinister or perhaps even supernatural lurking in the storm? Today, we're exploring the fascinating intersection between ghosts and weather. Throughout history and across cultures, people have associated storms with all manner of spectral beings and dark forces. There are countless storm monsters, deities, and weather-related ghosts out there, each with its own unique tales and powers. So grab your raincoat and let's step into this tempestuous world. You might never look at a simple storm the same way again. The gray man is said to wander the shores of Polly's Island, usually appearing just before the landfall of terrible storms. Described as a translucent gray figure, sometimes dressed like a pirate, the legend suggests that the gray man serves as a harbinger of destructive storms. But contrary to what one might expect, he is considered a benign or even helpful spirit. His appearances are seen as warnings to the locals about impending danger. There are numerous accounts of sightings of the gray man before major hurricanes, such as Hurricane Hazel in 1954 and Hurricane Hugo in 1989. More recently, during Hurricane Florence in 2018, people shared grainy photos on social media, claiming to have captured images of the gray man. These sightings, often low in fidelity, add to the mystique and uncertainty surrounding the legend. The gray man is not just a warning sign. He is also believed to protect property from storm damage. In 1954, a woman claimed that after seeing the gray man, her house was spared from the devastation of Hurricane Hazel, and even her beach towels remained untouched. This benevolent aspect of the ghost adds a layer of intrigue to the story. The origins of the gray man legend are shrouded in mystery, with various tales circulating. One prominent story, cited by the Georgetown Museum, tells of a young man who perished in the South Carolina Low Country in 1822. Eager to return home to see his fiancée, he took a shortcut through the marsh and met his doom in quicksand. His grieving fiancée later saw a dark silhouette on the beach, which she believed to be her lost love. This blend of tragedy and the supernatural makes the gray man a compelling figure in the folklore of coastal South Carolina. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, the story of the gray man adds a haunting dimension to the experience of storms in this region. Stay tuned as we continue to explore the eerie and atmospheric world of ghosts and weather. The ominous rumble of thunder, the sudden flash of lightning illuminating the night sky, and the eerie stillness that follows. It's the perfect backdrop for a horror story, right? Thunderstorms have long inspired gothic and horror fiction. During a summer marred by volcanic ash and storms, a time famously known as the year without a summer, it's hard not to believe that those stormy conditions played a role in the creation of one of modern horror's foundational texts. Fast forward to today, where an article delves into the fascinating intersection of thunderstorms and paranormal activity. The piece consults Marquise, a paranormal enthusiast and former director of the Pennsylvania Paranormal Association. Keyes takes a realist stance on ghosts, often citing advice from spirit mediums as credible information. So what about skeptical ghost hunters? Do they exist? Could you imagine calling one and hearing, "First of all, ghosts aren't real"? Open-minded but skeptical ghost hunters would be more scientific, investigating hauntings by exploring various plausible explanations rather than immediately jumping to supernatural conclusions. Now, back to the article's intriguing hypothesis. Thunderstorms might physically enable ghost manifestations. Essentially, the idea is that ghosts might need to get charged up by lightning. Keyes notes that spirits draw energy from their surroundings to manifest, often causing cold spots. After a thunderstorm, there tends to be an uptick in paranormal activity, supposedly because the lightning provides a necessary energy source. From a skeptical but open-minded perspective, it's fascinating to consider that thunderstorms might correlate with increased ghost sightings and hauntings. This isn't necessarily about spirits being conjured by the storm, but rather how storms might influence human perception. Thunderstorms, with their flashes of lightning and dark skies, create perfect conditions for the human mind to conjure illusions, shadows, spectral forms, and other eerie phenomena. Moreover, these conditions can amplify common sources of paranormal reports. In essence, while we might not embrace the ghost realist position, the intersection of thunderstorms and heightened perceptions of hauntings makes for a compelling exploration. It's a reminder of how our environment and psychological state can shape our experiences and perceptions, especially in the eerie ambience of a dark and stormy night. During thunderstorms, people often report various unusual phenomena. Lights flickering and electronic equipment turning on and off by itself, even when unplugged, are common complaints. Others experience more physical activities, such as doors opening or closing on their own, and lights or TVs turning off by themselves. Believe it or not, there are numerous reports of stereos and radios turning themselves on when they're not even plugged in. Beyond the physical effects, storms also have a significant impact on human psychology. Ghosts are often associated with darkness, and lightning momentarily illuminates the dark, creating a creepy environment. Stormy weather reduces the sensory resolution of your surroundings, with cloud cover decreasing light and visibility, and wind, thunder, and rain reducing auditory clarity. This sensory deprivation can make it easier to misperceive signals within the noise, leading to supernatural interpretations of ordinary events. Additionally, the effects of storms on human psychology go beyond just sensory deprivation. Changes in barometric pressure, which often precede storms, can have subtle effects on mood, cognition, and behavior. Some studies suggest that falling barometric pressure can lead to altered states of mind or behavior, but the evidence is not conclusive. The psychological impacts of weather are complex and multifaceted, with various factors contributing to how storms affect our perceptions and experiences. Shifting gears, let's explore the legend of Herne the Hunter, a spectral figure from British folklore. Herne is often depicted covered in furs, with a stag skull obscuring his head, and he is sometimes seen as a harbinger of disaster. This legend has been connected to older Celtic beliefs, particularly the horned fertility god Cernunnos. In modern times, sightings of Herne have been linked to significant events such as the 1931 economic depression, the 1936 abdication crisis, the 1939 declaration of war, and the 1952 death of King George VI. The nature of harbinger beings like Herne raises interesting questions. Are they benign spirits providing a warning, or are they ill omens that somehow contribute to the disasters they precede? Different interpretations exist, and the folklore surrounding these figures is rich with tales that blend the supernatural with historical events. Another fascinating tale involves three British youths dressed in the teddy boy style of the 1960s. According to the story, they found a horn in the woods and blew it, only to be pursued by an unseen spirit. One of the youths was struck by a ghostly arrow, dying without a physical wound. This tale ties into the broader tradition of the Wild Hunt, a myth involving ghostly beings and hellhounds on nightly hunts. The teddy boy detail adds a cinematic flair, perhaps commenting on the youth culture of the time. Beyond ghosts, the realm of cryptids and ufology offers another famous harbinger, the Mothman. This winged creature was allegedly sighted before the collapse of the Silver Bridge in 1967. The connection between the Mothman and the bridge collapse was popularized by ufologist John Keel and later inspired the movie, The Mothman Prophecies. While the film has its flaws, it effectively captures a spooky, ghostly atmosphere, making it a notable addition to the genre. These stories of harbinger spirits and supernatural beings add depth to our understanding of folklore and the human fascination with the unknown. Whether they are warnings or omens, these tales continue to captivate and inspire. In Welsh folklore, the Cyroth is a spectral figure whose wails and groans echo through the city streets at night, warning of impending calamities, including epidemics. Similarly, the Banshee of Irish legend is known for her haunting cries that foretell the death of a family member. The nature of these beings, whether they are merely foretelling events or somehow causing them, remains a mystery, adding to their otherworldly allure. These enigmatic creatures raise unanswerable questions about their roles and intentions. Are they agents of death, feeding off the misery of the bereaved, or are they benevolent spirits trying to warn us? The uncertainty surrounding their actions only deepens their mystique, making them figures of both fascination and fear. Shifting our focus back to the themes of storms, rain, and cataclysmic weather, we find that many cultures have myths centered around floods and natural disasters. In Chinese mythology, the story of Yu the Great tells of a hero who overcomes a great deluge by constructing drainage channels and earthworks. Another myth involves Gong Gong, a serpentine water deity with a human head and red hair, who causes a cosmic flood by colliding with Mount Buzhou, leading to the collapse of the sky pillar. The goddess Niwa steps in to repair the pillar and restore order from chaos, and the hope for heroes who can avert them. The myth of the archer Yi is another compelling tale from Chinese lore. During the reign of the Ten Sons Emperor, he is tasked with shooting down 9 of the surplus sons to save the earth from fiery destruction. However, this act of cosmic disruption unleashes a host of unnatural beings that wreak havoc on the world. Emperor Yao then charges Yi with the destruction of these monsters, restoring balance and protecting the people, blending history, myth, and the eternal human quest for order amidst chaos. In the rich tapestry of global folklore, the Blue Men of the Minch are legendary figures from Scottish mythology, known for their entirely blue skin, gray beards, and their dwelling in the underwater caves of the strait between the northern Outer Hebrides and mainland Scotland. These mythical beings were said to summon fierce storms against trespassing human ships, wrecking them with their powerful winds and waves. However, wise captains knew that the Blue Men loved rhyming contests and could earn safe passage by engaging in a battle of wits with these enigmatic creatures. The origins of the Blue Men of the Minch are shrouded in mystery, with various theories attempting to explain their beginnings. These individuals would have worn long blue robes and gray-blue veils, similar to the traditional fashions of the Tuareg people of the Sahara and Africa. However, modern scholars debate the true origin of the myth, with some suggesting it might be influenced by accounts of the Tuareg people or a merfolk tradition combined with knowledge of the Tuaregs' distinctive clothing and dyes. And Roman authors describe these tribes as having warriors painted in blue. This connection to body art and the color blue adds another layer of intrigue to the legend of the Blue Men, who were believed to control the weather and summon storms. Shifting to the realm of Japanese folklore, we encounter the yokai, supernatural beings that often embody elements of nature and the unknown. One such yokai is the yumibozu, also known as the sea monk. These creatures are described as great black beings with glowing eyes, emerging from the water to bring atmospheric disturbances and storms. Their appearance is reminiscent of whales, and their actions are akin to the wind bird from Chinese legend, directly causing weather disturbances to sink ships and drag them to the ocean's depths. The Yumibozu share similarities with Chinese ghost traditions, such as the boat spirits or fangliang, which are also vengeful ghosts of the sea. These legends highlight the universal human fascination with the mysteries of the ocean and the powerful forces of nature that shape our world. Whether they are the Blue Men of the Minch, summoning storms with their rhymes, or the Yumibozu, rising from the depths to wreak havoc on ships, these mythical beings continue to captivate our imagination and remind us of the enduring connection between folklore and the natural world. The harpies of Greek and Roman mythology are another fascinating example of weather-controlling creatures. Often depicted as grotesque hybrids of vultures and women, harpies were originally linked to wind spirits. In mythology, harpies are often portrayed as agents of chaos and destruction, embodying the monstrous feminine and conveying negative attitudes about females and female bodies. In Swiss folklore, the lake monster of Semperchursi, also known as Seelisberg Sea, is a bulky, multi-limbed dragon creature. This beast was said to surface alongside boats, frightening passengers, and even raid sheep herds at night. Its appearance in the water was believed to foretell powerful storms, adding to its fearsome reputation. Irish mythology introduces the Fomorians, the original occupants of Ireland, who were defeated and transformed into grotesque monsters or giants. They were attributed with the power to control weather and blight crops, showcasing their formidable and malevolent nature. The potency of weather mythology is particularly pronounced in the context of sailing and sea voyages. Depicted sea monster on maps throughout Western history is the siren. These creatures, whether portrayed as merfolk or winged beings, are deeply associated with the curiosities and dangers of winds and weather at sea. Thanks for joining me on this fascinating journey through the world of ghosts, monsters, and weather lore. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to stay up to date with all our future adventures. And if you have any thoughts, stories, or questions, share them in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring the mysteries of our world.